You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Young and the Restless fans, I've got some next week's spoilers that are really intense. We're going to talk about Claire demanding the whole and entire truth from Kyle Abbott, and they may be the next couple to blow up. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we've got the latest Y&R spoilers for the week of August 25th, including good stuff on Claire and Kyle, plus Victor hurling a very specific accusation at Kane that is disturbing, and Lily pushing Holden. But first, please click that subscribe if you aren't already following us. So at the end of this week on Y&R, we've got Nate Hastings giving Audra Charles one last chance to tell him the truth about what went on with her and Kyle in France. And of course, she's doing her lie and deny thing, especially when Nate asks if she had a deal with Victor. And he wants to know if she was supposed to break up Claire and Kyle in exchange for funding. Audra swears it's not true. She's changed. She wouldn't do this. Nate is feeling like the math isn't mathing. It's not all adding up. And he hits Audra with an ultimatum. And Nate says, tell me the truth once and for all, or we're done. And Audra does what a lot of guilty people do. She flipped the script around and insisted that Nate was wrecking their relationship by believing Claire's lies. And Nate hits back that he feels like Audra's lying to him and says it's obvious. And Audra keeps going on about Kyle telling lies and playing him and insisted that her story hasn't changed. Kyle came on to her in France. She rejected him. This is how he's covering with Claire, making up lies. And Nate can see, okay, well, if that part may be plausible, sure. But his problem is the stuff with Victor. And Audra realizes she's been caught. So what she's doing is trying to get out of it best she can and saying, I thought you loved me to Nate, and telling him he won't fight for them, and instead is calling her a liar. You guys all know how people that are lying try to flip things around. This is what Claire wanted. She wanted Nate to know the truth so he'd break up with Audra, but before Nate could even get there or even decide if he wanted to, Audra walked away from him. I think it was her trying to hang on to some dignity, leaving Nate while acting like he's in the wrong, basically gaslighting him. And while making Nate doubt Audra worked out, Claire has come up with some doubts of her own about Kyle. So next week, she demands the truth. Claire is going to ask him to tell her everything, and I'm wondering how he's going to handle it. So next week, Young and Restless spoilers have Claire putting Kyle on the spot. She point blank asks him if there's anything Kyle hasn't told her about what happened in France with Audra, and Claire's very specific. Is there anything at all? So that means don't leave a thing out. And of course, we all know Kyle hasn't admitted that he kissed Audra while he was wearing nothing but a towel and climbed on top of her in bed, so Kyle could test Audra and see if she'd cheat. But Kyle has to know if he tells Claire that, it's not going to fly. We know from Young and the Restless spoilers that both Nate and Claire make tough decisions soon. So my question is, will Kyle try and land somewhere in the middle of truth and lie? Like maybe he says that Audra kissed him and he put a stop to it. And then Kyle may try to fast forward past the nearly naked in bed thing and say that he called Audra out. And then he went to blab to Nikki about what Victor and Audra were up to. But I suspect Claire may push him for details. Kyle doesn't want to give. Audra may give those details to her, though. So those Y&R spoilers about Nate and Claire's tough decisions play out very soon. Audra walked away from Nate in the heat of a discussion. And Nate told Devon that Audra walked away, but they've also not said officially, okay, we're broken up. But I expect next week, Nate and Audra are going to be officially over. And I suspect Claire is going to take action with Kyle. If he doesn't come completely clean, Claire may let it slide because the ugly truth will finish them, I think. If he does come clean, Kyle may get dumped because he definitely crossed lines. And maybe Claire lands in the middle. Maybe she decides she needs a minute apart from Kyle to think it over. Maybe Claire asks for a break, but not a breakup. Or Claire's tough decision may be that she needs to walk away from Kyle. So we'll see. Holden is waiting on her is all I will say. So this week, Lily was talking to Devon about being there for Nate. Lily and Devon both want Audra out of his life. So Lily may tell Nate what she saw in France, that Audra was just all over Kyle. And of course, Lily hates Audra for hurting Nate. Devon and Lily also talk about Kane and the twins blocking him out. They're very mad at their dad. And Devon understands how they feel because he feels the same way about his estranged bio dad, Tucker McCall, that his dad put money before him. But next week, Lily isn't done digging for answers. So she finds Holden in the park. Next week, spoilers for Y&R say Lily grills Holden for answers about what Kane is planning. And if you remember, Lily found out Holden's working for Kane, although he pretended not to know that that's who DeMar was. And when Holden came to the train car with Lily there, Kane covered and said Holden's going to be dealing with some of his real estate. So I don't know why Lily thinks Holden would know Kane's master plan, but maybe Lily just wants to make sure she's covering all the bases just in case Holden does actually know something. But he tells Lily she's wrong next week, and Holden says he has no idea what Kane's big plan is. But she keeps pressing him and says she finds it hard to believe. But I don't. I mean, why would Kane tell him? Also, in next week's spoilers, Victor stops by to see Kane at his choo-choo train. And, Victor has been wanting to set an alliance with him. That's what he was telling Adam. That's what he told Nick. And Victor told Nick to get closer to him. But then all of a sudden, next week, Victor is coming at Kane with this very specific accusation. What I wonder is if this accusation is a prelude to blackmail. Like, this is what I think is going on. And if you ally with me and we go after Jack Abbott and Billy Abbott and Jabot together, then I will keep this to myself. That's what I think. I think it's big leverage. So Victor tells Kane next week, this is confirmed in Y&R spoilers, that he thinks Colin had a last great swindle. And of course, that's Kane's father. Victor thinks that him buying up property in town and all the other stuff that Kane has done to make these billions, Victor thinks it was all financed with dirty money. So if you recall, Kane said that Colin had an epiphany and he went legit during the last little bit of his life. And Kane said they sold Colin's extensive real estate holdings in Australia, and that was the seed money. And they took that and made all these good investments that ended up with the Dumas billions. But maybe Victor dug up something that the seed money for all that was dirty. Because if you don't remember, Colin was indeed a criminal. So I just wonder if Victor is going to threaten to out this on Newman Media and say, or we can keep it quiet and we can work together. And by the way, all these Colin name drops just make me miss Tristan Rogers even more. He was such a wonderful actor. I'm so sad he lost his battle with cancer and passed away. He was great as Colin on Y&R and great as Robert Scorpio on GH, and I hope he rests in peace.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.